Hello and welcome to a new video. Welcome to the reaction from me here to the World Championships Finals. Is just going on, like it's currently going on. I have no idea what's going to happen. We have Godanhada here from the winners bracket against Dancingrob from the losers bracket. One battler from South Korea and Dancingrob from Germany here. What this means, by the way, if you don't know what winners bracket and losers bracket is, if you watch it for the first time, this is the grand finals of the Pokémon GO Championship Series, where people like battlers going to battle it all out. And yeah, winners bracket means you basically, if you win this first best of 5, you're going to win the entire series, which is going to be very amazing. First Masters Divisional winner would be then Godanhada if he wins this in the first one. But if Dancingrob wins the first best of 5, which is going to happen now, we will see basically a new bracket rerun where they have to do another best of 5 because Dancingrob comes from losers bracket, he lost before, and they have to go for basically 2 best of 5s, and if he wins both of them, he is the new champion. Anyway, already I can say both battlers did an amazing job. Dancingrob actually went through the entire losers bracket basically and pushed him way through to the finals here, which is amazing. And also Godanhada didn't lose a single matchup yet, which is insane. I'm going to cut to the battles as we will see, hopefully they starting soon, but yeah, I'm just going to cut out the waiting part and we see you at the first battle. And we're going into the first battle. We have the Registeel against the Galarian Stunfisk. That's kind of a neutral lead, while we see a backline here, which definitely is in favor of Dancingrob, as the Medicham actually beats all 3 Pokemon from Godanhada. You see here a triple weakness to fighting on his team, which is insane, because like, this looks really good for Dancingrob. For the first one, we see a shield against the Focus Blast. Do they shield the Earthquake? They would survive one Earthquake, so they don't have to shield here. And they are going to ahead and let this move go through, putting him close to the red health here. I think one more watch shot exactly puts him into the red health. And they can get to the Earthquake before the Registeel gets to their move. This is because the second Earthquake only takes 7 mud shots instead of the 8 mud shots for the first one. And we will see here that the Registeel goes down. And Dancingrob has such a good matchup. Like, I don't think Dancingrob can still lose this one. You have the Lickitung, which doesn't really want to get into here, so they go into the Walrein. And we see the Medicham coming in here, which is amazing, because now you still have the Lickitung in the back, which of course Dancingrob doesn't know, where the Medicham also going to be very good, but also the Alolan Ninetales is going to be able to completely annihilate the rest of the team here. So this does look like a win for Dancingrob. I don't really see how he's going to lose this. He's going to shield this one. As we can talk a little bit about the teams that we can see here, well, the first match definitely should go to Dancingrob. We see the Shadow Walrein, the Medicham, the Altaria, the Lickitung, the Shadow Ninetales, Kanto Ninetales, which is cool, and the Registeel on the one side, while we see the Medicham, Lickitung, also both on both sides basically, the Shadow Venusaur, which I have a video up for tomorrow, and the Shadow Swampert, the Alolan Ninetales, and the Galarian Stunfisk on Dancingrob's side. We will see here, of course, that this Medicham doesn't really want to face this, and we see like there's nothing that really Godanhada can do here. This is definitely gonna be a win for Dancingrob. I don't see how Dancingrob can still lose this one, as they still have 2 fully health Pokemon, and one is Charm Ninetales, which is just going to go to town here. It doesn't really care too much about anything that the other Pokemon does. They tried to swap onto the Body Slam here. Would have been a cool play, but it doesn't really help them too much, as we see here the Body Slam coming through, doing not even half of the health, and they can just charm everything down here. This is going to be a first good game for Dancingrob, which is going to be an amazing start, as we can go straight, I guess, into the second battle, as this one was a nice RPS win. We're going straight into the next game here. Second game going up, we have a kind of neutral lead here. We see the normal Shadow Ninetales with Ember as a fast move. Very interesting, as we see on Dancingrob's side, we see the Galarian Stunfisk, which can go straight for one rock side, which gets shielded. We see on Dancingrob's side again the Medicham, which looks like having a crazy matchup against again the backline. But they swap out into it right now, which is interesting, because this is kind of awkward. They have to now think if this is an overheat or not. We see the shield coming up. It's going to be the Weather Ball. So nice shield bait on Godanhada's side here, as they can now go for one overheat most likely. But they actually go for the Weather Ball here. They don't have to shield this. They know this is a Weather Ball. There will not be a shield coming up here. As we can see here that the Medicham takes a lot of damage from this, but I think they might even able to know. They go for the Psychic here, guaranteeing the KO on the Ninetales here if they don't want to shield this, and they let this move go through. Basically, the best Pokemon for Dancingrob is kinda low now, and the Lickitung will definitely come in now, because it's going to be a very nice matchup for the Lickitung to just lick this thing down, get some extra energy, but it still looks very good for Dancingrob, and we might see a bracket reset. It definitely looks like a 2-0 win for him, but we have to see what's going to happen here still. We see the Psychic coming through, and they let this move go through, which is amazing for Dancingrob because it does a ton of damage. They go into the Stunfisk, which is amazing for him as well, as they can align this Pokemon now against the Lickitung. Of course, Godanhada doesn't know that they have a Swampert in the back, so they expect maybe it being, I don't know, the alone Ninetales and thinking they have a good chance here and staying in. It's always kind of difficult to say what they think because they don't know what the opponent has in the back, and they gonna most likely shield this. Yeah, they have to shield it because they don't have the fast move pressure from the Registeel. Registeel has only lock-on damage, which doesn't do enough to really threaten here the farm down against this G-Fisk, as they just go ahead, Dancingrob going for on Rock Slide here. This Rock Slide going to do enough to put him into the red health, but not enough to KO this Pokemon, as they cannot reach for another Rock Slide. They catch the Rock Slide on the Registeel here, and this still should be a decent one. The like, you have to note that the Swampert is a shadow version and they cannot swap out now. They have to farm it down. It's going to be a little bit difficult, but Dancingrob still has one shield remaining here, which is going to be very crucial, I think, because they're going to try to catch the move, but they couldn't catch the move here. That's kind of horrible, to be honest. They have to be a little bit scared about the potential Power Whip coming in later, so they have to farm up extra. They cannot just go straight for an Earthquake, because then the Power Whip would KO them. So they have to go for Hydro Cannon here and try to farm up 2 Hydro Cannons after this again. Otherwise, there is no chance for Dancingrob to still win this, and they still have to keep in mind that the switch clock is coming up soon. They definitely have to get to 2 Hydro Cannon. Can they do this in time? They can do this in time, and Dancingrob should be able to bring this second game home here, as well as the Lickitung going to go down from the Shadow Hydro Cannon from the Swampert, as even all the energy in the world there doesn't really help him, and it's going to be a good game. Super well played by Dancingrob, recognizing that they need to store 1 Hydro Cannon at the end there, and Shadow Swampert is going to town. Can we see a bracket reset? We are going straight into the third game here right now, as we see a horrible lead for Dancingrob this time around. Very good lead for Godanhada, again going for the Shadow Kanto on Ninetales with Ember. We see the Medicham coming in. They really don't have an answer for Medicham in Godanhada's team. Like, literally, if you have the Ice Punch, what Dancingrob has, even the Altaria has some problems, especially against the team of Dancingrob. You don't really want to bring the Altaria anyway, because you have stuff like the Galarian Stunfisk or the Charm Ninetales available, so it's definitely a tough one for Godanhada, as we see the Psychic coming through here. They're gonna get shielded just last second here, as they have Power Punch on Godanhada's side. They are not baiting, they're going straight for the Psychic, and Dancingrob gonna let this move go through, knowing that they can still reach another Psychic, but also knowing that it doesn't really help them to go 2 shields down here. Going to be a tough one this time around for Dancingrob to come around, but maybe you can dance around a little bit and still win this game here, as we see the Psychic hitting now the Medicham from the opponent there, as it doesn't get the defense drop and the Medicham goes down most likely here. They actually go for an Ice Punch still. They can still hit an Ice Punch, doesn't get the shield but get the Pokemon way low, which is amazing for Dancingrob. But they have to rely now basically completely on the Stunfisk. They have equal shields, and this is going to be a very tough one. They go straight for the Psychic. They have to let this move go through, and they have to maybe even swap out now immediately into the Stunfisk, because they have to swap out anyway, and they do exactly this. They try to get some more extra energy, but the Medicham goes down already. They trying to swap immediately into the Stunfisk. In comes definitely the Ninetales here in this matchup, and they most likely swap immediately into the Lickitung here. It's going to be most likely a win for Godanhada there. I don't really see how Dancingrob still can come back from this, even though this matchup isn't the worst. If they just keep the shield here for the for the normal Ninetales there, the Shadow Kanto Ninetales, they will be able to win the game, and this is going to be a 1-2 if I'm not wrong here. But in general, it just comes down to matchups at this kind of skill level a lot of times. They're going to shield this move up. This is interesting. I didn't expect them to shield this move up here, because they need the energy. Like, they really need the energy, and they need the shield gone from the Lickitung. to KO potentially the 9 hits in the back, but like I don't really see how Dancingrob still has a chance here, to be honest. They can just go ahead, go for a Rock Slide here. They will let this move go through exactly, because there is no way in hell that the normal Kanto Ninetales cannot beat those two Pokemon, as both Pokemon are weak to fire, and you see the insane amount of damage that Ember does. They are in a sheer disadvantage. They tried to swap on the charge move, didn't work out, and it's going to be a good game, as there is no way in hell that exactly the Ninetales will KO that thing here. Still very well played from Dancingrob, because like he was completely hardwalled. Like there was not a lot that they can do to still win this game, but still we're going to be very difficult to really win this for Godanhada in the future. Like they had the very good type advantage there for the lead matchup and also like for the rest of the game. But the issue for Godanhada is really the Medicham. There's not a lot that they can do against Medicham from the Dancingrob side, so it's going to be interesting how game 4 going to be. Going to the 4th match here, let's see what we see in the lead. We see the Altaria finally. I was like thinking maybe we see it first, as we see a horrible lineup for Dancingrob. This might be already over for this game again. We have basically hardwall from the get-go. Interesting to see now the Altaria and the Medicham from Godanhada, as we don't really see them that often yet, but we see here that they can go for some Sky attacks, which definitely would KO the Medicham now. I bet that they're going to shield this, yep, because they can just get the shield back with the Ice Punch. Maybe even Medicham might be able to win this in 2 shield, but I don't think it does. So we will see here the Ice Punch coming through, does some nice damage, puts this Altaria nearly into red health after some counters more. Going to be very interesting what Dancingrob tries to do here. Of course, Godanhada are always going to be able to win this matchup, but they're going to be very low here. And now at least the Galarian Stunfisk can get some extra energy against the backline, but the Medicham going to be a big issue as they go into the Lickitung. That's going to be very nice for Dancingrob, because this means that they can avoid it with their Shadow Swampert in the back. And now it's kinda open again, but I think still that the bulk of the Medicham is just a little bit too much maybe for the Swampert. We have to see Earthquake hits, as we see some desync as well there, which is kinda interesting, but we can see that they go straight for the Power Whip. Of course, Dancingrob should let this move go through, I think, as they will be able to get to another Earthquake in time here. And they will not feint to another Power Whip anyway. They go straight for the Earthquake. Do they shield this move up? Do they let this move go through? We will see. They're gonna let this move go through most likely, as this does not KO, but they can farm it all the way down, which is amazing. But they're gonna get hit by another Power Whip here. And if I was Dancingrob, I think I would just swap out, because I kinda, or do I? I think I would swap out and try to get more energy with my Swampert. Yes, exactly what he does. He still basically has 2 shields now left with the Stunfisk in the back, and this is going to be coming down to the wire. But here we see the Power Punch on the Medicham. Do they go straight for the Power Punch? They go for the Power Punch. Does Dancingrob call this move? We have to see. They don't call the move, and this is going to be tough, as they're gonna reveal the Power Punch here, and the Hydro Cannon doesn't do enough really to really threaten here. Maybe they can get a shield, but also there still is an Altaria in the back with some health. They still need a Hydro Cannon for this, and we see that they go straight for another Power Punch. They don't have a shield anymore, and this is going to be a 2-2-2. So maybe Godanhada can actually win into the next game there as well. If they win the next game, they win the entire series there, which is going to be crazy, but they can just shield it up. And after dominant 2 games from Dancingrob in the beginning, they going to go 2-2 now, and it really depends on if Dancingrob can win the final game to reset the bracket, or if Godanhada wins the final game to win the entire championship. We're gonna find out now. This can be the final game in here, and we see a neutral lead again, and this looks very tough for Dancingrob. This might be the final game that we're gonna see here, as we see a pretty neutral lead here, but we see also the Altaria in the back, which the backline of Dancingrob really doesn't want to face here. But maybe they're going to swap out now. We have to see they swap out now, which is amazing for Dancingrob, because now we see the Altaria coming in. They can pressure that with the Ice Punch, but it's still going to be a tough one, because of course the Lickitung is in the back lurking there. We have to see what's going to happen here. We see the Ice Punch coming through. Dancingrob already shaking his head, doesn't really know if this is going to be enough to even have a chance here, as we see the Sky Attack most likely coming through soon. Exactly, trying to throw perfectly here, but I think Dancingrob might still have a chance to even win this matchup in NiRiain because you have a little bit more energy than the opponent here. We have to see as we see the next Ice Punch coming to hit him soon now, and it's going to be a tough one. They're going to shield up with the Altaria, not surprising to be honest, and it's going to be very interesting how Dancingrob gonna play this matchup out. They're going to go for the Sky Attack now perfectly again on the Ice Punch. Those players know what they're doing, and Dancingrob gonna let this move go through, trying to most likely gain more energy with the Galarian Stunfisk. We have to see here, going straight into the Stunfisk most likely exactly because the opponent is still switch locked. They cannot really do anything here, and they can farm up to 100 energy before the opponent swaps out. The opponent throws the Sky Attack here, which is very good for Dancingrob. Dancingrob might be able to come back here still. Really depends on how good the Swampert going to be in the back. We will see that they can farm up to 100 energy now. And one Rock Slide, they go for Nate. They swap into the Weather Ball, but oh wow, the Rock Slide comes through first, and they're gonna let this move go through against the Ninetales here, as the opponent most likely goes straight. No, don't swap immediately, don't swap immediately. You still have, I don't know, it's maybe you should swap immediately actually. I don't know, it's a very tough call. They swap immediately into the Lickitung. It's going to be a tough one. They maybe have to call the bait, maybe they go straight Power Whip, you don't know yet. This is a Body Slam, they go straight Body Slam. Dancingrob should let this move go through. There's not really a reason for not letting this move go through. They're going to shield this move up. This was not even close to one Power Whip sadly, as they can go ahead and go for some nice Hydro Cans, but Dancingrob, maybe, I don't know, maybe he wanted to keep more energy, maybe he would be in the range where they could lick him down. We don't know. We see the Hydro Cannon connect. We're going to get the first shield here most likely from the opponent. Can they actually still get to 2 Hydro Cannons before the Lickitung can KO the Swampert? We have to see, it's going to be close. Swampert is so spammy, and maybe we see a bracket reset. The Altaria is still back there. No, the Power Whip comes through now, and this is going to KO the Swampert, but also the Lickitung is out of energy, and also the Galarian Stunfisk has a lot of energy. It's going to come down to the wire. We see there is one Rock Slide stored. Do they catch the Earthquake on the Altaria? They don't, and they can go ahead, go for an Earthquake, KO this Lickitung here, and they might be able to reach a Rock Slide still to actually tie this here and get to the next game. Super close, just on the Sky Attack. A Rock Slide comes through. Dancingrob gonna win this 3-2, which means we're going to see at least 4 more battles, no, at least 3 more battles, depending how it's going to go. This is the bracket reset now, and we will see the final 5 games. Good game to Dancingrob, winning the first best of 5 from the losers bracket, now having the equal chance to the opponent to win this game and become the first champion of Pokemon Go. And we go into the first match now of the grand finals. Again, both have now an L next to their name, and we see another horrible lead for Dancingrob, as we see another say swap of the Medicham. Medicham has to get into every game here basically, as we see the Registeel coming in, which is not the best matchup for the Medicham actually, because all the charge moves getting resisted, and now Godanhada has all the energy on their alone version, and this looks very tough for Dancingrob on the Kanto version, because the Kanto Ninetales has so much energy, and you look at the backline of Dancingrob, you see a pretty significant weakness against this normal Kanto Ninetales. Again, interesting that the Kanto Ninetales, after also me using it, but also like Sydney using it, has such an impact in the meta. It's kind of interesting that we don't see the Venusaur yet, but Venusaur only has basically one decent matchup, not even really like 2 matchups, so Venusaur will never find the way into the match, I would say. We see a Psychic Blast hit coming through, and this actually will be so close to KOing this. He could be able, like, it's not worth it, it's just not worth it for Dancingrob. Actually, never mind, I guess it is worth it for him. He actually shields this move up for whatever reason, because now he gets just farmed down by the Kanto Ninetales, and I don't know. I guess it's his only play to still have a chance, but I don't really see there is a chance because it doesn't get to another move. But the opponent, no, they actually throw the Ice Punch here. This is sadly, the opponent knows it, and Dancingrob shakes his head. This will most likely be a loss again. There is not a lot that he can do against the Ninetales, and he knows it as well. As the opponent's Ninetales could just go for overheat, but the safe play is, of course, to go for the Weather Ball. Dancingrob has the quality, of course, but there's still no way really he can win this, I think. He can try to go for more Rock Slides, but actually, I think fast moving down his team is the only play for Dancingrob. I don't think it's actually still going to be a play at all. And he thinks, yeah, maybe there's something in the back that I can farm down. Maybe the Altaria, then I still have a chance, but sadly, there is not an Altaria in the back. There is a Warren in the back, which is still a decent matchup for the Ninetales, and the opponent goes for the overheat. Completely unnecessary here because, of course, normal Pokemon, like it normally would already KO, but they just want to troll, I guess, because they know that their Warren will be enough to KO this Ninetales anyway. But it's very funny to see the overheat here. Completely unnecessary, but this is going to be a good game as one Earthquake will KO this alone Ninetales. And maybe Dancingrob goes back to the Swampert. I think Swampert is such a valuable pick here for him, and he just has to be a little bit careful for opposing Altarias. Going into the second game here, we will see Lickitung against the opposing Medicham. That's a pretty neutral lead, as we see this time a very good backline to face for Dancingrob, as we see. Oh, actually, it's actually not that good for the Medicham here. Like, the Medicham has Power Punch, which definitely makes this matchup a little bit tricky for Dancingrob. But the opponent decides to go for the Psychic maybe here. We have to see, or do they just bait? No, they go for the Psychic. Dancingrob's play is always to let this move go through. They are just pretty decent in the neutral lead. And you know already that the Medicham has always a pretty decent matchup as the opponent swaps into the Lickitung itself. Dancingrob can decide what they're going to want to do here. As they want to try to bank some energy, most likely. They were just not at a Power Whip, but they can tank all the moves here from this Lickitung onto the Galarian Stunfisk, and this looks pretty decent for Dancingrob, as we know already what they have in the back there with the Registeel, and also this Lickitung doesn't really want to face some counter damage later on. I think basically Dancingrob has the perfect alignment for this game so far, at least, as we see here that this Earthquake comes through, gets around half of the health of the Lickitung, and this looks pretty decent for Dancingrob, as they have most likely another Power Whip coming in now, as they have a lot of energy. Power Whip doesn't have to really be shielded, and they know, of course, there is not a hard answer for the Medicham in the back, so they can just save the shields for the Medicham, totally fine for them. And maybe Dancingrob is actually baiting here. No, they go for the Earthquake straight. Maybe the opponent going to shield because they wanted to throw the Body Slam here, but I think they're gonna let this move go through, and they do let this move go through, KOing the Lickitung here, and we will see that the opponent most likely going to try to farm down with their Medicham. Has to be seen if Dancingrob wants to swap out here into their own Medicham maybe. Exactly the play, as we see the Registeel coming in. It's still gonna come down to the wire though. This is not over yet. Don't think that's over yet, because Dancingrob has good alignment, because the Medicham of the opponent still has a lot of energy, and you see how low the Pokemon are from Dancingrob otherwise. Also, the opponent's Medicham has Power Punch, so it can boost its attack after a while there. And we see here that the Dancingrob definitely has to shield those Zap Cannons. This matchup is not as good as it might seem on paper, because you're going to be able to, like, you're not going to be able to really farm it down. But what Dancingrob should do here is most likely try to farm down this Registeel the entire way down. Registeel will not shield this move. I thought maybe keeping the energy might be a little bit better, but I don't know if they would have actually be able to farm all the way down though. So it's going to be a very tough one actually for Dancingrob, as we see the defense drop, which is actually more against Dancingrob, because now he gets less energy from this farm down, which is kind of problematic for him, as we see that they can farm down the Registeel, but it's going to be tough because they're double debuffed now, and we see the Medicham coming in. They have to try to catch a move, I think. Or do they gonna go? They try to catch the move, but they still have a Body Slam stored. This is amazing. But the main issue here now is, if they go ahead and go for a Power Punch, one Psychic might be able to KO the opponent's Medicham, but we see that the lick damage is already enough to KO the Medicham, and this is going to be a 1-1. What a final so far. Both competitors are just so good at the game. Let's go into the third game. Okay, finally we can go into the third game after around half an hour or whatever as a break. I don't know what the issue was. We see an amazing lead for Dancingrob so far, as we see the Galarian Stunfisk against the Altaria, which is amazing. We see here now the Lickitung, XL Lickitung against the XL Medicham. I'm kinda out of commentating because it was such a long break. I don't know what happened there, but we will see here now the Psychic coming through, hopefully. Do they shield this move up? It's definitely an awkward scenario. They shield this move up. I think they can actually win back switch advantage here. They go 2 shields down with their Lickitung, and Dancingrob should be able to have still a very good matchup though. Look at the backline. We see in the back the Alolan Ninetales, why we don't see any answer for Alolan Ninetales anymore. So this game should be already on Dancingrob's kind of favor, as we can see them going back into the into the Stunfisk, and they have to hope that they don't have the normal 9 hits in the back here. And I know, of course, that they don't have the normal 9 hits in the back, but it's very, very difficult for Dancingrob really to think about that they don't have the normal 9 hits in the back, but like it's very risky for them to go basically only on the alone 9 hits, and very risky also from Godanhada that they bring nothing basically for the alone 9 tails. Very interesting. We'll see here that they go most likely back into the Medicham, and we see most likely a swap, and we most likely see a pretty easy surrender from the left side opponent, as we see actually an Earthquake coming through. They most likely just gonna let this move go through because there's no reason exactly, and this is just smart from Dancingrob. This basically makes it all a little bit faster because now they can just swap and they can just farm down all the way, and Godanhada now knows, looking at him, he knows that this game is over. They don't even throw any move anymore because they know this game is over. Dancingrob taking the lead here 2-1. They need to win one more game, and they have 2 chances for this. One more game for Dancingrob to win the entire championship here, coming from the losers bracket, fighting its way through the entire losers bracket, now in the finals, winning the first best of 5, and now we see also the lead here. It's going to be amazing. Let's see how the next game gonna go. Could be already the last one. Into maybe the final game, we see a horrible lead for Dancingrob. They're gonna swap definitely into the Medicham, and they're most likely going to go 2 shields down here. I guess it will be very tough for Dancingrob to win this actually. We see the Ice Punch coming through, of course, and we will see that this is gonna put him also into a future potential Hydro Cannon from the Swampert, but yeah, like Dancingrob has to shield here. Like he has to shield all the moves. He has to basically try to realign, and this is going to be such a tough game to win. Like it's basically going to be impossible nearly. It's again RPS pretty much. We see, of course, this move going to shield. They might don't want to shield the next move. I don't know yet. I don't know if they want to shield the next one. Of course, Godanhada wants to keep alignment, as also they hard counter in the back. So like they definitely have to keep alignment. As we might see them swapping, we don't know. We can see them going for one Ice Punch, but of course it's going to be really tough. The Sky Attack coming through now. Dancingrob gonna let this move go through. They had to let this move go through. Actually, they have to go now into the alone 9 tails, but this is basically impossible to win. Like there's no way really Dancingrob gonna win this unless they gonna play it perfect. And they going to swap. That was so unlucky. Yeah, okay. There's going to be a 2-2. So the final game going to be decisive for the entire tournament here. Very cool to see basically both games going to 2-2. So 10 games here to showcase. It's amazing as we see Hydro Cannons coming through. Dancingrob already knows this game is over. He shakes his head. He had to try something. Like the move that he tried to do there was definitely the correct play to do. Like I definitely see why he tried to do this, as this move going to completely destroy him, and he already knows that there most likely going to be a hard answer for the alone 9 hits in the back, as the opponent going to let this move go through as well. And this will be a good game here, sadly. RPS, and it comes down to the final game, depending if Dancingrob or Godanhada gonna win this game here. Gonna win the entire tournament, I mean. As we see here, of course, the normal 9 hits coming in. Having a shield, there's literally no, I don't know why you even wait, say like there's nothing that Dancingrob can do, as Dancingrob can just, I don't know, like he knows that there's nothing he can do, and he just gonna let this go through. And we're gonna go into the final game. Like it couldn't be more exciting, to be honest. Like it's insane. We have 10 games to look at to decide the final winner. It's just insane. Let's go into the final one and see who wins it all. And we go into the final game. This will decide everything, and Dancingrob already cheering himself up because he wins this lead so hard. And we see them going into, I don't know if he maybe should have stayed in for a little bit, because it's gonna be still tough. I mean, he has to realign basically. I would have stayed in a little bit if I was Dancingrob, to be honest. He might have had some nerves there, because he could have farmed some extra energy for the Stunfisk. It would have been fine. He has a lot of answers for the Eteria later on. He could have got the Lickitung a little bit lower, but of course, playing on the stage there at this kind of pressure, it's insane and definitely not that easy. As we see here that Dancingrob definitely going to rely on His Stunfisk, he gonna let this move go through here. I think he can still get to the Ice Punch. I don't know if this KOs actually. We have to see here. Does it KO? It doesn't actually KO. He goes back into the Stunfisk hopefully. Yep. He can farm some energy now, I guess. As I hope that the opponent goes onto the Fire Ninetales. This will decide everything. If the opponent goes back into the Altaria and does a hard read that there's a lone Ninetales in the back, it's going to be tough for Dancingrob to still win this, but he can go straight for a Rock Slide here. I don't think it does even KO it, it's coming close. It's definitely just in that range where the Rock Slide does do some damage. He goes for the full charge, it does barely KO, and please go into the normal Ninetales for Dancingrob's side at least. Please go into the normal Ninetales for the Dancingrob side at least. We have to see here what they're gonna do, and they're going to go into the normal Ninetales. This is amazing for Dancingrob, but it's still not over yet. They have to get to 3. They don't get to 3-1. It's going to be so close. It's going to be really, really close. Unless Godanhada gonna let one Rock Slide go through, then this game is over. We have to see. Do they go 2 shields down now? They don't have a shield anymore. What am I even saying? I didn't even see that. They shield the Psychic. Never mind. This will be a win for Dancingrob. I'm completely lost here already from all the excitement because they can just charm this thing all the way down and they have 2 shields for it. And they get the move through. This means Dancingrob going to be the first champion for Pokemon Go. Insane. Congrats on this. This is nothing that the opponent can do anymore. One Weather Ball gonna put him into range. He has a shield left. There's nothing Godanhada can do anymore. And Dancingrob going to win it all. From the losers bracket, winning the first final top 5 there. And now he wins the second one there. Good game here. And Dancingrob gonna win it all. It is insane. Congrats to Dancingrob. Congrats on this. The entire event was so amazing in general. It was such a success for Pokemon Go. So many viewers were there. It was so exciting to watch. Dancingrob gonna win it all. Coming from the losers bracket. Insane games. It's just amazing. Thanks all for watching. See you in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.